Hello. So today I have so many updates to tell you. The last video I made, I had decided to not smoke weed for a span of time because I was wanting to, I just got the impression that I had some things inside of me, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, etherically, you name it, that needed to be cleared. I had a lot of what one would call lower vibrational dark pockets of energy. Some of you light workers and metaphysical folks will know this as doing our shadow work. And so what that means is that the new energies that are coming in lately, that started in my world, these energies, I started feeling them coming in to Earth, to other people, and to myself. And these energies started affecting me personally around March 14th or 15th. I decided to stop taking smoking and stop taking some of my medications on March 15th. And every day it would just sort of, the energy that I felt in the atmosphere would just ramp up almost like, twice as much as it was the day previous. So I started to go through what I later learned was called ascension flu. I definitely had these symptoms. While I was having this awful sickness, I didn't know it was anything else but the flu. I didn't know about it, ascension flu or anything like that. But I found that out about a week later. And so then it all kind of made sense what I was going through. I was purging. Purging was the name of the game for me for the last week. I was purging a lot of emotional things that I had sort of buried, stuffed way beneath the surface that I wasn't even consciously aware of. A lot of childhood trauma and abuse, and I was able to, and Spirit was working with me to allow those things to come to the surface for the first time and have me feel them and not have any kind of band-aid or try to damp it down. I felt it. And it was painful, I'm not going to lie, but I felt it. I felt what the root of the problem was as far as me keeping this energy in me. I was able to learn wisdom from these things, feel them, and let them go. And I had these humongous pockets of relief. Whenever something like that would bubble to the surface, I almost see them as like geometric shapes, and they bubble up to the surface and they want you to deal with them. They're like, are you going to mask this, or are you going to feel it so we can get rid of it, so you can be of a lighter vibration? So once I would deal with it, feel the pain, it would go away. It would be taken out of me. And so that this sort of dark, shadowy pocket of energy in my chest or whatever would be taken out of me. And not only would it be taken out of me, but in its place would be the most wonderfully feeling light energy that would be put in its place. Now, I have a theory that the energy that I felt that was always put in its place felt very tingly and loving. And now this occurred over 6 or 7 days, where sometimes I would have this energy stop in my stomach, and I would feel it in my stomach, and I would picture it like a geometric shape, and it would get stuck there. And I would focus on it, and the universe was pouring some kind of energy into it to illuminate it. And once I felt it, and worked through what that trauma was, then it would dissolve it, and in its place would just be that loving light energy in its place. So little by little, I began to fill up various parts of myself with light where there was none before. And now I'm explaining a process, okay? I'm explaining a process. So then I was able to start seeing more clairvoyantly when I meditate. All this time I'm meditating every day. In fact, I've been meditating almost twice a day. And so then what happened, there were 2 or 3 things that happened during the time where I wasn't taking any kind of medication or anything like that. What happened was I was able to feel what I call my baseline. I was able to feel what is really me when I'm feeling good and me when I'm not feeling good. So I could establish, this is me. This is how I feel, all right? If I had been taking other things, there would have been some doubt in my mind. Is that really me, or is that this? You know what I mean? So that was my way of proving to myself that this was really me and not anything, other substances or medications or anything. So once I became lighter and lighter, I had this wonderful meditation on the 20th, I believe it was. It was 3:33 in the afternoon on the 20th. And I went into meditation. And in that meditation, I experienced this feeling right around here. It wasn't my heart chakra, and it wasn't my throat chakra. It was in between. It was about right here. I started to feel this intense, tingly, loving energy here. It felt like a spa. It felt like gentle raindrops or rain mist of love and light falling on this area. And I had my eyes closed. I'm meditating. I'm deep in meditation. And once I started feeling this, something from above, behind me, like something behind and above me. I don't know how to explain how I felt this. I mean, I was feeling me, but I was also feeling this thing behind me. Sort of, I felt something sort of as if something turned on behind me, behind my head, above me. And then the next thing I felt was that something behind me had a beam of energy that connected to this point that I was pointing at. So I'm meditating. I feel this loving, tingly rain of light and love fall from behind me through right here. I asked in my head, what the heck is that? And I heard something say, your soul star has been activated. Your soul star has been activated. I didn't know what that meant, but it sounded lovely to me. It sounded peaceful and loving, and it felt good. And so I accepted that, and I said, okay, that feels good. And then I went on with the rest of my meditation. Okay, now all this time, for those of you who have not watched my previous 2 videos, I've been eating in an entirely different way than I had been eating for the past decades of my life. And I've been eating vegetarian. Some days I will eat completely vegan. And once in a while I will eat some cheese or even some meat. Now that said, I haven't been eating any meat or ice cream or milk, no cheese, no butter, no ice cream. It's all vegan. That's what I've been eating. So on the 21st at 3:33 in the afternoon, that was the 333 portal day. It was March 21st, which reduces to 3, of 2019, which also reduces to 3. So it was the 333 portal day. And I also call that Jesus Day, because Jesus told me it was his day. And so I figured, since it's 333 day, that I would meditate outside at 3:33, which I did. I drank a big thing of Fiji water and went outside, took off my shoes, and sat out in the dirt and meditated at 3:33 until 4:33. And when I did that, I started to get this physical sensation that was so gorgeous and luscious and beautiful. And it was so intense that once it started getting up to my head, it started at my feet and it started to rise up. Once it started to get towards my neck and head, I started to panic because it was getting hard to breathe almost. It wasn't really getting hard to breathe, but I just it felt so different that something in my head just started to get anxiety and I started to panic. And once I did that, it stopped. But I could still feel the wonderfulness from here down. And so in my head, like, let's say I'm meditating and my eyes closed, and during this time I'm just saying to myself, oh my, this feels so good. I'm so grateful to whatever this is. Now, when I meditate, those of you who watch my other videos know that I'm so high vibrational now when I meditate, because of certain things that I do before I meditate, that it's easy to discern that I'm dealing with high vibrational energy, not low vibrational energy. And so that's why I was so confident and comfortable with it, and I was able to let go. So after I was done with my meditation, and I felt all kinds of love and I had all kinds of experiences, which would probably take too long than this video will allow. So now, after my meditation and after what I felt like, I had this ascension flu, I had all these shadow work done, I had all these activations, my chakras were being cleansed, I was being purged, every part of my body was literally purging for days and days, and it had finally stopped. Something told me, okay, I'm gonna go smoke a joint, because I have my baseline figured out. I have worked on these pockets of low vibrational pockets in my being, and have cleared them with the help of Great Spirit. But so I went in and I smoked a couple of puffs off of a joint, drank some water, or actually I made some tea, and I went in and I felt so incredibly good that I thought, I'm going to lay down on the bed for a moment. So I'm laying on the bed and my husband's laying next to me. He's just reading. So I look up and I'm just kind of staring at the ceiling. I'm not looking at my phone, which is very odd for me. I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not doing or looking at TV I'm not doing anything but literally staring at the ceiling, which I never do. And the next thing I know, I start feeling this energy start swirling and building in my feet. And it's not outside of my feet, it's inside of my feet. It's an energy I personally have never felt before. it was a moving energy, okay? And normally, if I had felt that, I would be scared shitless and freaking out, of course, as anybody would, I think. But for some reason, it felt so incredibly good that I just, I was just like, this is divine. I know this is divine, and whatever it is, I am so grateful for this. And when I said that, that energy started climbing up my ankle, up my calves, up to my knees, up my thighs, up my hips, up my stomach, up my back, up my torso, up my chest, up my neck, up my mouth, up my nose, until it got up past, a little bit past my eyes. Once it started, and this was the most slow, swirling energy that was so tingly. It felt like 1,000 ASMR tingles all over your body on the inside. Once it got to here, my vision became extremely blurry. My eyes filled up with tears, and it became somewhat painful, like sinusy painful. And once the pain registered, the rising of that energy stopped. So it was like rising, 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 wonderful, wonderful, rising, wonderful, rising, wonderful, ow, and then it stopped right there. And I just felt this energy for another 2 seconds in my entire body, except it stopped right here. And my sinuses at this point, my eyes were just tearing up, and then it started to go back down. And I knew, after this occurred, I knew that I would be making a video about this. I knew I had to make a video describing what happened, because it's the most wonderful feeling, more than any drug could ever give you. I just can't even describe in words what this felt like. I have no clue in the world what this was. If you guys have experienced this, please let me know down below. I would so appreciate it if any of you could shed any light on this. After that occurred, I still have in little parts of my body this tingling sensation, particularly my root chakra, my feet and legs, and my it's like sort of like the base, a little bit to the right of the base of my spine, like to the right of there. There's this tingling sensation, and it feels wonderful. I don't know what it is. It feels wonderful though. I just was so grateful that after that happened, I started thanking God and thanking Jesus and just thanking Source Creator and Mother, Father, God, and my guides, and I even thanked my higher self at that point. And ever since then, I also have something happening where this eye right here will just sort of spontaneously start twitching. And it doesn't hurt or anything. In fact, there's just the sensation of twitching. It's not uncomfortable at all. It's just very strange. And whenever I feel the twitching, what happens next is that I'll see sort of this mildly flashing light for a moment, and then it'll stop. and then I'll feel this wonderful tingly sensation on the side of my face. So I don't know what that is, but it feels wonderful, like I say. And so I just had to make a video telling you guys about what happened. I mean, I'm getting so many kind of imagery or like information about what's been going on with the energies of the earth, and it's everything that I get is so positive and so wonderful and so much of a blessing. And I'm selfish. I want that feeling again. I'm going to pray that that feeling, whatever it was, comes back. Thanks for watching. If you've had this situation happen to you or someone you know, comment below and let me know how that went for you, or what you think it is. And so we'll talk to you soon on the next video. Bye bye.